It was a cold December evening in Montgomery, Alabama. A 42-year-old woman boarded a city bus. She paid her fare, she sat in the colored section, and when the driver ordered her to move for a white passenger, she said no. That woman was Rosa Parks. Her quiet act of defiance lit the match, and the fire that followed changed a nation. For nearly a century after slavery was abolished, freedom in America still came with chains. They called it segregation. It was a system built on fear, power, and silence. Black Americans were forced to live separate lives, separate schools, separate neighborhoods, separate rights. They were free in name, but not in reality. Rosa's arrest became a rallying cry. A young preacher, just 26 years old, stepped forward to lead. His name, Martin Luther King Jr. Under his leadership, the Montgomery bus boycott began. Day after day, black citizens refused to ride the city buses. They walked for miles, organized carpools. They faced threats, job loss, and violence. But they kept going. 381 days later, the United States Supreme Court ruled that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. They had won, but that was just the beginning. From Montgomery, the movement spread like a rising tide. In Greensboro, college students walked into segregated diners and simply sat down. They asked to be served. They were beaten, humiliated, refused. But they returned the next day, and the next, until sit-ins sparked across the South. And then came the Freedom Riders. Black and white activists rode buses together through southern states, testing whether the new desegregation laws would be enforced. They were met with mobs, flames, and fists. Still, they rode on. In Birmingham, schoolchildren took to the streets. Their reward? Police unleashed dogs and fire hoses against them. Images of children being thrown against walls by water cannons shocked the world. In a jail cell nearby, Dr. King wrote one of history's most powerful letters. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. America could no longer look away. On August 28, 1963, over 250,000 people gathered in Washington, D.C. Black, white, young, old, united by hope, by pain, by a shared dream. And there, beneath the towering statue of Abraham Lincoln, Dr. King gave the speech that still echoes across generations, "I have a dream." Change followed. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 outlawed segregation in schools and public places. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 tore down the walls, blocking black Americans from the ballot box. But none of it came easily. Not the blood, not the marches, not the names etched into memory. Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Dr. King, they paid the ultimate price. And then, decades later, another knee, this time on the neck of George Floyd. 8 minutes, 46 seconds. One man's breath stolen in plain sight, and once again, millions rose, different names, different faces. But the same cry for justice. The civil rights movement never ended, it evolved. Today, the struggle lives in new forms. It lives in voter suppression battles, in classroom debates, in voices demanding equal opportunity, fair treatment, safety, and respect. It lives in every young person who speaks up, in every teacher who tells the truth, in every voter who shows up no matter how long the line. Rosa Parks wasn't trying to start a movement, she was just tired of giving in. Her courage became a chain reaction, and today, we're still part of that chain, because the story of the civil rights movement is still being written. The dream lives on, but only if we keep it alive. If this story moved you, don't just scroll away. Like, share, speak, and remember, you are not too small to make history. Subscribe for more stories that matter.